Okay, we are going to start with our squares. We begin with a slip stitch, a slip knot. So we hold our yarn so that our tail is facing down, make a loop, and take the long yarn and push it up through. And this goes onto our hook. We're going to begin with chain 6. Come back to the very first chain, insert your hook, and slip knots, or slip stitch. So it's yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Then we're going to be working into this circle. We begin with a chain 4. That chain 4 counts as the first 3 are a double crochet, and this counts as a chain 1 in between. So if you want to mark the third chain, that's where we're going to end our row. That's where we'll join when we are done. Now we'll do double crochet into this big circle. Then we'll chain 1, and then we'll repeat that double crochet, chain 1 10 more times. And I'm crocheting over my tail as I go so that it is getting sewed in as I'm working. Then I'll show you how to count it. So it should look like a wagon wheel. We just haven't closed it up yet. This first spoke is our chain 3 and then 1, so chain 4 that we started with. That counts as 1, and then we count 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12 spokes to our wheel the whole way around. We've ended with a chain 1, and then we find that third chain, which is what we marked at the beginning. You insert your hook into that third chain, and you do a slip stitch. So yarn over, pull through, and that finishes out the first round. So down here at the bottom I put a row total of 12 double crochets with chain 1s, just so that you know that that's what you're supposed to end up with at the end. Also, just to make note, these ovals are the chains and these T's with the cross through them are double crochets. So what I did this time, which was each time I added a new round, I kind of like almost made it look, the previous round look blurred, so that you're not looking at all the stitch markings again. So this right here that we just completed is this blurred section right here, so that you can focus in on just the new stitches that are going in this time. So to start the next row, you do a chain 1 and you slip stitch to the chain space. So let me show you what that looks like. That is right here what we're looking at. We're looking at a chain 1, and then the black dot is a slip stitch. So right now, if you look where our yarn is coming out of the top of one of the spokes of our wheel, or it's coming out of the top of the first chain 3 that counted as our double crochet. We're going to chain 1. That's going to give us some space to kind of move, and then we're going to go to the middle of this chain space. So this is the chain space. We're just going to slip stitch around it. So just insert your hook into the space, yarn over, and pull through. So now our yarn is coming out of the middle of a chain space instead of the top of a stitch. From here, we're going to chain 2 and then do a 2 double crochet together, which counts as our first double crochet 3 together, because this chain 2 is the first part of counts as the first part of a double crochet. So I'll show you how to do that. So we begin with chain 2. Then to double crochet 2 together, we yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, but then we skip the last yarn over, pull through 2. Instead of doing that, we start the next double crochet. So we just yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and now we have 3 loops on our hook, and we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of them. So we have 3 stitches here, but only 1 top to the stitch. So I'll do all that again.
Could you do it to where, you know, where you've got this and then you did the slip stitch?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So,
connected.
right. So here is where we have just connected. We've just finished round 1.
Right.
We are going to chain 1. Then we're looking at this. Here's where our working yarn is right now. We're going to the left of that, to that chain space. You insert your hook into that space and you do a slip stitch. So yarn over and just pull through. So all that is done is it's moved us across so that now we're working out of the top of this chain space.
So repeat that again.
That's okay. So we chain 1, insert our hook into the space, yarn over, and just pull through. That's a slip stitch. Then we do chain 2, 1, 2, and then we do double crochet 2 together. So that's yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So we've started a double crochet, but we're not going to do the last yarn over, pull through. Instead, we're going to start another double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3.
I'm sorry for that.
Once we've completed, so this is what we've done so far, is this chain 2 and then double crochet 2 together. Next it says chain 3. So I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, and we're going to move to the next chain space below. So we were working in this chain space, now we're moving over to the next one. We're going to double crochet 3 together, or 3 double crochet together in the next space. So let's go over one of those. It starts out the same way. You start a double crochet, so yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then you stop there and you start the next double crochet in that same space. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then we're going to start the third double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So we end up having 4 loops on our hook, and then you yarn over and pull through all 4. And then we do chain 3, and we do that same thing, the 3 double crochet together and chain 3 in every space the rest of the way around. So I'll go over a couple more of those. Okay, so what we're doing is we're starting but not finishing 3 double crochets, and then we finish them all at the same time. So once I've chained 3 and I move on to my next space, I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's the first half of 1 double crochet. Then I'm going to start the next one. So I yarn over, insert my hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So now I've started 2 double crochets. And then I start the third one. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So now I've started 3 double crochets. I can tell because this is the first loop on your hook is always just your working loop. There's always a loop, but now then I can see I've started 1, 2, 3 double crochets. So you'll always have 1 more loop on your hook than the number that you've started. And then to finish it, we just yarn over and pull through all 4 loops at the same time. Yep. So then we chain 3 in between and then move to the next space. And we're going to start our first double crochet. So we yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then we're going to start the next double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So now we've started 2 double crochets, and then start the third one. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now I've started 3 double crochets. I'm going to finish them all at the same time by yarning over and pulling through all 4 loops on my hook.
Definitely can't do this in front out there.
I'm going to come around, but you're going to keep working and do that the whole way around, and you'll end with a chain 3. So I pulled mine back just because I want to show you, if you would decide to change colors, how to change colors. On mine, you see just one of my squares. This second round is where I used the different colors. So we did the first round, then I used the second round in a different color, and then I finished it out in the original color. So if you would want to change colors, or maybe change colors on some of them, I'll show you how to do that. So to change colors, I've backed it up to, we just joined the end of the first row and I did my chain 1, and when I go in here to do my slip stitch, instead of slip stitching with the old color, I'm going to put the new color over top my hook and I'm going to pull the new color through. And then you just pull your tail of your new color and the working side of your old color down together, and you start with the new color at the beginning of the chain 2, and then all the double crochets together. So it's just whenever you do this slip stitch to the chain spot, instead of yarning over with my old color, I yarned over with my new color. And then I worked over top my tails for that first section there. You'll just have a lot of ends to tie in whenever you're done. So I'm going to continue this row around here. Okay, so I just finished out my round, and if you look, this row total, you should have 12 of those double crochet 3 togethers with chain 3s in between. So make sure you have a nice chain 3 gap in between all of them. You wouldn't want to get to a row from now and realize you forgot to chain 3 somewhere. And then you should have 12 of these all the way around.
I have 13.
Well, let's find out why.
That's your lucky number.
I'm not excited. I did that the first.
Did you? I'll come look here in a second. To finish this off, we're just going in the top of this first cluster here that we did, and you can kind of tell it's the larger of the stitches here. It's right at the top of the double crochet 3 together. So you just insert your hook in there and then do a slip stitch. Okay, so while you're doing that, I'm just going to change my yarn back, so I want to show you how you would change the color back. So we've just ended here with a slip stitch at the top of the first little group that we made. So moving down to the next row, I've blurred out, that's everything we've done up till now. You're going to do a chain 1 and another slip stitch, moving you over to the next space. And it's going to be the same again. I'm going to chain 1, and then when I do this slip stitch, that's when I'm going to change my color back. So I just, instead of yarning over with my old yarn, I yarn over with my new yarn, and then pull that through. And then you just kind of have to give it some little tugs here on the back until it's pulled down tight. So that is the chain 1 and the slip stitch, and then we begin this row with a single crochet. So I'm just going to do the single crochet now to hold my yarn in place there. And these X's we haven't seen yet. These X's are single crochets.
That single crochet if you want to change it.
Okay, so this row goes single crochet in the chain space, and then chain 4, and then single crochet. So, and that's it, just single crochet, chain 4, single crochet, chain 4, the whole way around. So I've already done that first single crochet. And chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I move over to the next chain space and insert my hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's your single crochet. And then chain 4. And go to the next space. So let's insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 for your next single crochet, and you just continue that the whole way around, and you'll end with a chain 4. So when you come all the way around, you've ended with a chain 4, and you're going to join that to the top of the single crochet that you made to start the round. So you just insert your hook into the top of that single crochet and do a slip stitch. And that gives us 12 single crochets with chain 4s in between. The important part is that you have 12 of these chain spaces to work into. And then that brings us to our last round. It starts the same way the last couple did, with a chain 1 and a slip stitch to the chain space, because right now we're at the top of a single crochet. So we're going to chain 1 and then move over to the chain space and slip stitch. So now we're working out of the top of that chain space. In this first chain space, we're doing a single crochet. So this is where we are right here. That's okay, you'll have the video, you can play back. We're also going to try to do a second square, so we'll be going back through this all today. So we're going to start with a single crochet. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. Then you're going to do chain 4, which takes you over to the next chain space. And you do another single crochet in the next chain space. And if I were you, I'd probably mark that first single crochet we just did on this one, just so you know when we get to the end of this round, because since we started it the same way we did the last row, it can get a little, they can kind of run together a little bit. So this first, I'm going to back up, the first single crochet we did here, you want to go ahead and mark that one so that you know that's where we're going to be ending when we finish this row. Then you'll do the, I already did, I showed you, I'm doing it again because I backed it out. The chain 4, 1, 2, and the single crochet. So we have this one marked. I'm going to mark mine. I'm just going to use a piece of yarn to mark it. Okay, so that's where we'll be joining back to. We've done the chain 4 and the single crochet. Now we're moving to the next chain space. So here's our next chain space. We're going to do 4 double crochets, chain 3, and 4 double crochets all in that same chain space. So this is the corner, and all of this, 4 double crochets, a chain 3, and 4 more double crochets all go in the same space together. And you might have to kind of grab at the bottom of your double crochets and slide them down a little bit to make enough room to get them all on there. So that's what our corner looks like. 4 double crochets, chain 3, and 4 double crochets.
Rachel, on that round 2.
Okay, so here's our corner. I'm actually going to, because we're going to work down this side now, I'm going to turn my pattern so we can see where we are. We don't do any chains or anything in between. We just go straight to the next chain space with a single crochet, and that kind of helps tack down all these stitches. So it kind of lays them down to the next chain. So in the next chain space, we just do a single crochet. Then we do chain 4 and jump over to the next space where we'll do our next single crochet. And then that brings us to our next corner. So we go to the next chain space, which is right here, and we do another corner, which is 4 double crochets, chain 3, and 4 double crochets. Then I'm going to turn my pattern again because we're working down this side now. We go to the next chain space, which is right here. Do a single crochet. Then chain 4. That moves us to our next chain space, and we do a single crochet there. To our next chain space, and that takes us to our next corner, which is 4 more double crochet, chain 3, and 4 more double crochet. We are going to be joining once we make another crochet or another square. This corner that we just did, the third corner, is typically where I join. I typically join with the third corner and the fourth corner. You can join with any of them, but that's where I usually choose to do it. So just kind of, if you make a little mental note that right there, I guess it shouldn't, right there is where I usually start joining. But once we do another square, I'll show you how to do that. And then turn it one last time, and you'll do the same thing we've been doing with the single crochet, the chain 4, the single crochet, and the last corner. And then we end with, we just finished our last corner. We finished the last 4 double crochets. And you come back over to where we marked it, that first single crochet, and we slip stitch to join in that first single crochet of the round. So that is our first square, and to finish it off, leave about a 6-inch tail or so and snip it, and then you just pull up and pull that through. I like to, I would typically use a needle to do this, but that's in the car for some, you know. It's okay. I just pull it through to the back. I go through the next stitch to pull my tail through to the back so that when I'm sewing these all in, they'll all be sewn in on the back side. So since I ran out of yarn at the very end of my row, in case you would run out of yarn mid-row somewhere, I'll show you how to change to a new skein of the same. So what I'm going to do, you get to a good stopping point here. Whatever kind of stitch you're on, which I happen to be on a 3 double crochet together. You just stop before whatever your last yarn over and pull through is of your stitch. So I ran out, I've done my 4. So my last yarn over and pull through is just going to be with my new string of yarn. So just yarn over and pull through, and then pull that down, and then I'm going to do my chain 3 with my new yarn and join, because that's all I needed to finish my row. But that's all you do. Whatever kind of stitch you're on, it doesn't matter what kind of stitch it is. You just, your last yarn over pull through that you would do, you put your new yarn on and finish it with that.
So when we cancel the crib.
So to join these, I have my first square that I made the whole thing. Let me try to zoom out a little bit here. And then I have my second square, which I have done up into the 3rd corner. I did the first 4 double crochet of the 3rd corner, and that was it. You can do it on any of these corners. I just prefer to do it on this one because then you don't have, when you're finishing it, you're not dragging all this that's already been joined along with you. So to join, you start with your first 4 double crochet of your corner. You do chain 1, and then you get your next square lined up, and you go in the corner across from it. So I take my hook out, insert my hook into the corner of the new square, and then put my yarn back on. And then I do my second chain through and around the new square, and then I do my 3rd chain. And then I go back in and do my last 4 double crochets. Okay, then you do your chain 2, take your chain, or pull up a loop, like pull it up, take your hook back off. You're going to find that bump that we made in the middle of this row, insert your hook into that, put your yarn back on, and do your next chain. Come down and do your single crochet. Oh, I skipped a single crochet, sorry. I got ahead of myself. We did the 4 double crochets. We do our single crochet in the next chain space. Then we start our chains. Find the bump, insert your hook, put your yarn back on, do your next chains, then go and do your next single crochet of that round, and then we start the next corner. So we do 4 double crochets, do a chain, take our hook out, and go to the other corner. Insert our hook in, put our yarn back on our hook. There's our second and third chain, and then finish out your double crochets for that corner. And then you end your row by slip stitching to the top of the first single crochet, which I told you to mark because it's hard to find. It's over here. So you will have yours marked. And then you slip stitch in there, and then you cut that off. So that way it joins your squares like that on your corner, your middle, and your corner, and you don't have to sew them together. It joins them as you go. And then the exception to that, you'll do these all in a straight row until you get to the corner. So you'll have two corners that'll be your top and bottom. And that's where I am here. So I have my last one. I will say, disclaimer, if you're changing yarns, make sure they're the same thickness, because you'll notice this square is a little bit smaller than my others because this brown yarn is a little bit thinner than the others, but it'll still work. When we do this one, we're going to be joining it here. So you'll have 2 points that you have to do. So all of them will be in a straight row except for the very front and the very back. And you do it the same way, except when you're working into this section here, instead of working into the corner, I work into this big space, so it's kind of like catty corner. So I've done my 2 chains, take my hook off, and I insert it here. And then do my 4 double crochets. To finish the third corner. Single crochet in the next space, start my chains, then I'm going to find the bump here, finish my chains, do my next single crochet, and then start my 4th corner. Start my chains, find my other corner, and then my last 4 double crochets. And slip stitch to the top of the first single crochet of the round. So then that is how you'll end up having.
So you're only connecting them in 3 spaces, or 3 spots?
Yep,
that's all you need?
Yep, the corner, this bump in the middle, which if you look on here, it's on the second page. On the second page, when you're working around, you join them here on the corner, here on that little bump, and here on the last corner, and that's it. Those are the only 3 places that you join them. And you join them all in a straight line except for that corner that I showed you, which is like that. But that's it. That's all. That's how you join them all together. And like I said, you just kind of join them until it feels comfortable, because technically this could hang a lot lower on you if you wanted it to. It could hang up higher on you. It's kind of a preference. But I just kept putting it over my shoulder until I got it to a point that I liked it, and then started working back up the other direction with it.
Is there, like, how sometimes you said the last time, like, you have to have certain number?
When I'm joining mine, I start here,
Okay.
I come around, and when I get to my third corner, that's where, and if it's more comfortable for you to start at your first corner or your second corner, it doesn't matter. But I always work to my third corner. I do the first 4 double crochets, and then on that chain is where you join it. And then you finish the corner, you do your single crochet, you start your next set of chains, and that set of chains is where you join to the next square. You do your single crochet, and then you start your last corner. You do 4 double crochets, you start your chains, you join on that last chain, and then you do your last 4 double crochets, and then you slip stitch to finish your round. So yeah, I always do it when I'm at my third corner. So I do 1 corner, 2 corners, start my third corner, pause, and start joining it. And then
Okay, I think I got it.
but I'll send the video, and you'll just get as far as you can. If we need to work on joining more next week, but I am going to start also showing you the bottom, because the bottom is only 1, 2, 3, 4 rows for the bottom, but they're all double crochets, so they go in pretty smoothly. And then there's 2 steps to the top. The top is the same 4 rows that we did on the bottom, but then there's this like netting that is also, so that will probably take 2 weeks. So that's kind of my plan. So get as far as you can with it, but if you have a goal, if you work well with goals, I would try to do 2 or 3 squares a night, or afternoon or morning, whenever you crochet. I crochet at night, but that should get you where we need to be for next week.